Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Lunchtime Poetry. My name is Lorie, and I'm the teen librarian at Manlius Library. Today I'm going to read to you a few selections from Old Possum's Book of Practical Cats. It's a collection of poetry by T.S. Eliot, and this collection actually happens to be illustrated by Edward Gorey. This is the book that the musical Cats is based on. They took the poems and put them to music and created the musical Cats. And I'm going to read 3 poems from here. The first one is called The Naming of Cats. The naming of cats is a difficult matter. It isn't just one of your holiday games. You may think at first I'm as mad as a hatter when I tell you a cat must have 3 different names. First of all, there's the name that the family used daily, such as Peter, Augustus, Alonzo, or James, such as Victor, or Jonathan, George, or Bill Bailey, all of them sensible, everyday names. There are fancier names if you think they sound sweeter, some for the gentlemen, some for the dames, such as Plato, Admetus, Electra, Demeter, but all of them sensible, everyday names. But I tell you, a cat needs a name that's particular, a name that's peculiar and more dignified. Else how can he keep up his tail perpendicular, or spread out his whiskers, or cherish his pride? Of names of this kind I can give you a quorum, such as Monkostrap, Quaxo, or Coricopat, such as Bombularino, or else Jellilorum. Names that never belong to more than one cat. But above and beyond, there's still one name left over, and that is the name that you never will guess, the name that no human research can discover, but the cat himself knows and will never confess. When you notice a cat in profound meditation, the reason I tell you is always the same. His mind is engaged in a rapt contemplation of the thought, of the thought, of the thought of his name. His ineffable, effable, and ineffable, deep and inscrutable, singular name. The next one I'm going to read to you is The Song of the Jellicles. Jellicle cats come out tonight, Jellicle cats come one, come all. Jellicle moon is shining bright, Jellicles come to the Jellicle ball. Jellicle cats are black and white, Jellicle cats are rather small. Jellicle cats are merry and bright, and pleasant to hear when they caterwaul. Jellicle cats have cheerful faces, Jellicle cats have bright black eyes. They like to practice their airs and graces, and wait for the Jellicle moon to rise. Jellicle cats develop slowly, Jellicle cats are not too big. Jellicle cats are roly-poly, they know how to dance a gavotte and a jig. Until the Jellicle moon appears, they make their toilette and take their repose. Jellicles wash behind their ears, Jellicles dry between their toes. Jellicle cats are white and black, Jellicle cats are of a moderate size. Jellicles jump like a jumping jack, Jellicle cats have moonlit eyes. They're quiet enough in the morning hours, they're quiet enough in the afternoon, reserving their terpsichorean powers to dance by the light of the Jellicle moon. Jellicle cats are black and white. Jellicle cats, as I said, are small. If it happens to be a stormy night, they will practice a caper or 2 in the hall. If it happens the sun is shining bright, you would say they had nothing to do at all. They are resting and saving themselves to be right for the Jellicle moon and the Jellicle ball. And then finally, The Addressing of Cats. You've read of several kinds of cat, and my opinion now is that you should need no interpreter to understand their character. You now have learned enough to see that cats are much like you and me, and other people whom we find possessed of various types of mind. For some are sane, and some are mad, and some are good, and some are bad. And some are better, some are worse, but all may be described in verse. You've seen them both at work and games, and learnt about their proper names, their habits and their habitat. But how would you address a cat? So first your memory I'll jog and say a cat is not a dog. Now dogs pretend they like to fight. They often bark, more seldom bite. But yet a dog is on the whole what you would call a simple soul. Of course, I'm not including peaks and such fantastic canine freaks. The usual dog about the town is much inclined to play the clown, and far from showing too much pride, is frequently undignified. He's very easily taken in. Just chuck him underneath the chin, or slap his back or shake his paw, and he will gambol and guffaw. He's such an easygoing lout, he'll answer any hail or shout. Again, I must remind you that a dog's a dog, a cat is a cat. With cats, some say one rule is true: don't speak until you're spoken to. Myself, I do not hold with that. I say you should address a cat. But always keep in mind that he resents familiarity. I bow, and taking off my hat, address him in this form: "Oh, cat." But if he is the cat next door, whom I have often met before, he comes to see me in his flat, I greet him with an "Oops, a cat." I've heard them call him James Buzz James, but we've not got so far as names. Before a cat will condescend to treat you like a trusted friend, some little token of esteem is needed, like a dish of cream, and you might now and then supply some caviar or Strasbourg pie. Some potted grouse or salmon paste, he's sure to have his personal taste. I know a cat who makes a habit of eating nothing else but rabbit, and when he's finished licks his paws so not to waste the onion sauce. A cat's entitled to expect these evidences of respect, and so in time you'll reach your aim and finally call him by his name. So this is this, and that is that, and there's how you address a cat. And this is Old Possum's Book of Practical Cats by T.S. Eliot. I'm going to read this last one. It's called Cat Morgan Introduces Himself. And this is actually not part of the musical. This is something different. I once was a pirate what sailed the high seas, but now I've retired a commissioner heir. And that's how you find me a-taking my ease and keeping my door in a Bloomsbury Square. I'm partial to partridges, likewise to grouse, and I favor that Devonshire cream in a bowl. But I'm always content with a drink on the house and a bit of cold fish when I'm done my patrol. I ain't got much polish, me manners is gruff, but I've got a good coat and I keep myself smart. And everyone says, and I guess that's enough, you can't but like Morgan, he's got a kind of heart. I got knocked about on the Barbary coast, and me voice it ain't no such mellifluous horgan, but yet I can state, and I'm not one to boast, that some of the gals is dead keen on old Morgan. So if you have business with Faber or Faber, I'll give you this tip, and it's worth a lot more. You'll save yourself time and you'll save yourself labor if you just make friends with the cat at the door. And that is by Morgan the cat. And there is Morgan the cat. So I hope you enjoyed today's selection of poetry. It is Old Possum's Book of Practical Cats by T.S. Eliot. And this one happens to be illustrated by Edward Gorey, and it's a book available in our collection. Thanks for joining me today. We have just a couple days left of National Poetry Month. So we'll have some more poetry tomorrow and some on Friday. And I'll see you then. Have a great day. Happy poetry.